There's a certain joy in revisiting a series that's as gloriously out of time and genre-confused as this one. A show that somehow smashes together Greek mythology, Oriental mysticism, medieval castle backdrops, and the occasional Egyptian sorcerer, all while pretending it's still vaguely ancient Greece. It's a series that spun off a surprisingly popular warrior princess with a chakram and attitude, and gave rise to a lesser-seen follow-up that barely anyone talks about anymore. And no, I didn't come back to this because I missed it. Fantasy's never really been my go-to genre. I prefer horror, the screaming and bleeding kind, but if we're being honest, horror is just fantasy with higher body counts and lower survival rates. And if this show taught me anything, it's that all genres can become charmingly absurd if you slap enough mythological nonsense on top. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Damon, and today I'm wandering back through a mystical land where the gods are petty, the monsters are rubbery, and the hero has a jawline sharp enough to chisel marble. That's right. Today I'm looking at the series that made Kevin Sorbo into a household name, for better or worse, and gave us a vision of ancient Greece, where every week is Monster Week and the gods are just glorified middle managers. This show wasn't concerned with historical accuracy. It proudly wore its anachronisms on its leather sleeve. It had ancient Greeks using medieval swords, Chinese-inspired scrolls, Egyptian cults, and the occasional Viking or Druid just wandering in like they took a wrong turn at a Stargate set. At the center of this swirling fantasy blender was Hercules, the demigod with a heart of gold and a punch that could send a minotaur flying through a wall. Played by Kevin Sorbo in peak 90s smugness, this version of Hercules is less the tragic son of Zeus and more a roving do-gooder helping peasants with their monster infestations. He's backed up by Iolaus, his loyal and very blonde sidekick played by Michael Hurst, who usually gets knocked around a lot, makes sarcastic comments, and serves as the emotional foil when the plot decides it needs some heart. There's also Salmoneus, the comic relief merchant, always chasing the next big gimmick or get-rich-quick scheme. Other companions come and go, but the core duo of Hercules and Iolaus holds the show together with a dynamic that manages to be goofy, endearing, and occasionally surprisingly sincere. Early on, the main antagonist is Hera, queen of the gods and professional grudge holder, whose attempts to assassinate Hercules range from hilariously convoluted to outright dumb. Later, she's sidelined by Ares, the leather-clad god of war and Hercules' half-brother with some serious daddy issues. And when the show starts running low on Greek material, they go full kitchen sink by throwing in Dahak, a pan-dimensional evil that starts chewing through different mythologies like a tourist with no respect for borders. By the time Hercules is punching demons in Sumeria or wrestling Norse monsters, it's pretty clear the writers stopped caring about which pantheon they were in. If it had horns, a dark robe, or a creepy voice, it was fair game. What makes the show work, even when it probably shouldn't, is its tone. It's light, it's campy, it knows it's ridiculous. Episodes often break the fourth wall, riff on modern topics, or just go full comedy with body swaps, musical numbers, or meta-commentary. There are dark moments, sure, but unlike its spin-off Xena, this show rarely dwelled in tragedy. It was mythological pulp, served with a wink. The cast, while not winning any acting awards, had charisma and presence. Sorbo was perfectly cast as the confident do-gooder, and Hurst had a knack for physical comedy and genuine pathos. Supporting roles like Otalikas, my god, these names, Bruce Campbell, by the way, and Discord, played by Megan Desmond, added spice to the mix with over-the-top performances that fit right in with the show's tone. Yeah, the effects are definitely dated. Rubber monsters, some early CGI, and honestly, fight choreography that usually looked like two blokes slap fighting in slow motion. But somehow, weirdly enough, it all just worked. You accepted it because, well, the heart of the show was never in the budget. It was always in the spirit of adventure. Every village rescued, every cursed item destroyed, every smirk Sorbo cracked while tossing a boulder. This was comfort TV at its mythological finest. And if you ever wondered whether the show had staying power, well, consider that it ran for 6 seasons. spawned Xena warrior princess, launched a bunch of TV movies, and inspired young Hercules featuring a baby-faced Ryan Gosling, no less. That's a media empire in 90s TV terms. This is one of those shows that's never going to win awards for subtlety, depth, or visual polish, but what it does have is heart, humor, and a willingness to embrace the absurd. And in today's world of soulless reboots and gritty reimaginings, that's something worth treasuring. It's fantasy-flavored cheese with a side of monster slaying, and honestly, it's better than half the soulless dreck pretending to be mythological epics these days. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell like the video, and leave your opinions in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.